So Donald Trump has been charged and held in contempt. I don't know about you, but I really have contempt for the Biden justice system. I refuse to call this the American justice system.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. Somebody on the top of the line!
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. This is the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That'll give you a notification of my rants, my ravings, and my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. That's how we get the message out that we're here. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. So let me get this straight. A judge who himself is a big-time Democratic operative donor, has a daughter who organizes fundraisers for Democratic candidates, gets them the money they need for their campaigns. There's absolutely no issue here. He can preside over a former president of the other party running against the current occupant of the White House, who happens to be a member of the political party to which this judge and his family are deeply aligned with and have money connections to, and he can be completely impartial. Does anyone in their right mind believe that? Of course not. Democrats don't even believe that. Independents certainly don't believe that. This is why New York is flipping for Donald Trump. On top of the out-of-control crime and the fact that basically the feckless mayor of New York City has done everything he can to make the migrants there feel welcome by kicking the actual tax-paying families' kids out of school so they can use the school buildings to house these people, as well as hotels to house them, but then to give them credit cards, and now to give them free rent. The city is broken, businesses are leaving, crime is out of control, and the district attorney there cares nothing about enforcing the rule of law so that the streets are safe. No, he just wants to go after Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is public enemy number one to the New York DA. He is public enemy number one to the state attorney general. That's the People's Republic of New York. It's broken, it's dysfunctional, and thousands of Democrats are going to vote for Donald Trump in New York. Donald Trump's going to take New York. And everybody sees this trial for what it is, this sham. Michael Cohen, the lead witness in this trial, could go on every cable news show and say whatever he wants about Donald Trump. But Donald Trump has the gag order. He can't say anything about Michael Cohen. Not a peep, because if he does, he is intimidating the witness. He is tainting the jury pool. So Donald Trump is having his First Amendment rights really halted. The judge said, well, we have to do that. We would do this with it. But this isn't any. This is historic in the fact that it is a former president of the United States, current candidate, and at this point, nominee for the Republican Party for the presidency. So things are a little different here. And if the witnesses get to go out and talk all over the media about Donald Trump, he, under the First Amendment, has the right to respond. But of course, truth become inconvenient, and it's all part of this continual Democrats pushback and this tyrannical chokehold that they have on the media and media outlets, that this false narrative of theirs is what becomes the new reality. The new reality is that Donald Trump is the existential threat to democracy. No, Joe Biden is. this liberal woke ideology. It was the existential threat to democracy. Donald Trump didn't impede any of my freedoms, but boy, the Democrats do, in particular, the Biden administration. Nancy Botox Pelosi, that walking fossil from Jurassic Park escapee, made her way onto one of the news programs on PMS NBC with Katie Tur. And there, of course, she was there to defend Joe Biden and talk about, how awful Orange Man and the MAGA people are. And much to Nancy Botox Pelosi's surprise, she got fact-checked in real time. She got pushback.
I am Frau Blucher.
After you, Frau Blucher.
Please welcome the House Democratic leader and the first female Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
There are those who have real legitimate concerns about immigration, globalization, innovation, and what does that mean for their job and their family's future? And we have to address those concerns. And Joe Biden is doing that, created 9 million jobs in his term in office. Donald Trump has the worst record of job loss of any president. So we just have to make sure people know.
That was a global pandemic.
He had the worst record of any president. We've had other concerns in our country. If you want to be an apologist for Donald Trump, that may be your role. Donald Trump has the worst record of job loss of any president. So we just have to make sure people know.
That was a global pandemic.
He had the worst record of any president. We've had other concerns in our country. If you want to be an apologist for Donald Trump, that may be your role.
How dare Katie, that member of the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media, which has really proven itself to be nothing more than a propaganda arm of the Democratic Party, how dare she actually bring up, what's the word I'm groping for here? Facts. The economy never rocked and rolled in decades like it did under Donald Trump. I warned a year before the pandemic ever hit. I warned going into the re-election cycle of Donald Trump. I warned on my radio show in Orlando, Florida, that the Democrats would do something to kill the economy. That was the only way they were going to be able to oust Donald Trump. And it was the great Rush Limbaugh himself who chastised me on his radio show that was not possible. The economy was too big, too strong. There was nothing the Democrats could concoct to kill the economy. Then came the pandemic, and then came the willing cohort, the traitor within the Trump administration, and I told you that it was Mike Pence. And I'm not even talking about the stuff that happened on January 6th that makes Mike Pence the traitor. Mike Pence outed himself as the traitor fully when he brought Fauci on as the main go-to for the Rovid scamdemic. They had worked together on a scamdemic in Indiana. And it was Fauci who had the ear of the president as the point man on this, that to save lives, we've got to slow the curve. We need a 2-week shutdown. They artificially turned off the best economy in the world. Stalled it, killed it. So Nancy Botox Pelosi talked about, he lost more jobs. No. He didn't lose jobs because of his financial decisions. He lost jobs because it was a scamdemic. And he got scared into this, that he had to do this to save lives, because if he was perceived as killing people, this is what they would campaign against him on, which they did anyway. Donald Trump turned the economy back on, and it was what we call a V-shaped recovery. The problem is that economy was starting to rock and roll just as the election happened. We all know what happened. Joe Biden gets to walk into office, and claim Trump's prize as his. All Joe Biden did was be the recipient of people going back to work. He's created nothing. Everything he has touched, he has broken and destroyed. This is why Donald Trump is killing him in the polls. The American people, by and large, know this. Republicans know this. Democrats know this. The independents know this. The minority communities know this. So this old, tired Nancy Botox Pelosi trying to bring up old, tired rhetoric that Joe Biden has been great for the economy and Donald Trump was awful for the economy. The American people aren't buying it. And it is making the libloons lose their collective minds.
I have to ask you about something that Trump posted about you this week, because he responded in response to you saying you'd vote for the Republican ticket. Wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president, despite the fact that I called him weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy. Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. It's classic Trump. What's the question?
What's your response?
And I think all this stuff about a threat to democracy, I think the real threat to democracy is the progressive movement and the Biden administration.
But they really lost it when former Attorney General under Donald Trump, Bill Barr, a guy they didn't like until they liked him. And why did they like him? Because basically, he came out and said there were no shenanigans during the election of 2020 and Donald Trump fairly squarely lost and that's it. And he needs to get over it. And he's, of course, given interviews following all that, basically taking shots at Donald Trump. But Bill Barr is what he is, which he is a wimp. He is spineless. He is feckless. He is your typical career swamp-dwelling politician, which means every morning he wakes up and does this. Which way is the wind blowing? Because that determines what his so-called core values are, what he actually believes, what he will actually support, what he will actually defend, what he would actually go after. When he thought the political winds were going to take out Donald Trump, he got on that bandwagon. And now that Donald Trump has successfully rode through these hurricanes and the American people, by and large, over 70% see all these trials as witch hunts and concoctions designed to do nothing more than take out a political rival of Joe Biden. Because I guarantee you right now, if you took a poll and asked the average American, if Donald Trump was not running for re-election, would he be indicted with anything? I guarantee you the poll would say 90% of the Americans would say, well, of course not. There would be no charges brought against him if he decided to just ride off in the sunset and spend the rest of his years, playing golf at Mar-a-Lago. But because he threw his hat in the ring, they waited, they pounced, they did the whole Records Act. There was no problem there. The National Archive of Records, there was no problem. There was no expedience there. That was all created by Joe Biden sending in the FBI and making this a thing. All of this is a concoction, a fabrication. Bill Barr said so, and the CNN host, she's losing her mind. Of course, Donald Trump took her. She hasn't gotten over the fact that Donald Trump gave her an old-fashioned spanking in that town hall that she hosted, and he brought the receipts and talked about every point she tried to make. He had the facts, and that was part of the Trump comeback, was CNN. And so now she's got the Attorney General, former member of the Trump administration, that they thought they had flipped to their way of thinking. But all he proved is now that the winds are blowing back in Donald Trump's favor, he wants to get back on the Trump bandwagon. So he endorses Trump. And Trump made a mock of it. Trump has called him like 12 different things on Truth Social. And Trump says, well, I do appreciate him, endorsing me. So I'll take this one comment back. But he still calls him a wimp, still calls him weak, etc., etc., etc. He's a tool. That's all Bill Barr is, a tool. But the fact is that the liberal left wanted to use him as their willing tool, their idiot, their dupe, and now he comes out and endorses the guy that they thought would be the final nail in the coffin. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Trump's got a $9,000 fine. Has to take down his post on True Social about, things he's been saying in the Stormy Weather Daniels case. Which, by the way, there's was that website called Fans Only or Only Fans? The Joe Biden, this woman that, poses nude online, that Joe Biden is giving money to. I wonder if he'll be tried for that. Double standard much? Another day in the United States of America under the Biden regime and the Biden justice system.